Hello everyone, welcome to SkillWisdom videos. Let's start with Java basics.
So first, let's look at Java features. First one is Java is a object oriented. So Java supports all object oriented characteristics. That makes Java application quite easy to develop and also to maintain. What is this object oriented? So object oriented means whatever code you wanted to write in Java, you have to write using a class. You cannot write single line of a code outside the class. Second one is Java is a robust. Java is having a perfect mechanism to handle the errors. Error means unexpected behaviors from your written code. And next one is secure. Java does not provide any explicit pointers to memory. If you know C, C++, we have concept called pointers using which we can access the memory. But that concepts are not available in Java. That makes it quite secure. And Java supports for multi-threading. Multi-threading means you can do multiple tasks parallelly. And the memory management in Java is automatic. In C, C++, if you want to store anything on a memory, you have to explicitly create a memory, and once you use it, for example, you don't want that memory now, then you have to delete that memory explicitly using malloc and calloc function. But here in Java, we have something called garbage collection, which is responsible for deallocating that memory when there is no reference for it. We'll see it in a more details in a coming videos. And last one is Java is a portable and platform independent. What it means? It means you can write Java program once and execute it in anywhere else. That means you can write your program in one platform and you can execute that in a different platform. How this is possible in a Java? We'll see it. In order to understand that, you have to understand the architecture of JDK. Okay, so let's assume that this is your JDK. Okay, so JDK is having two parts. One is JRE and other one is development libraries. So don't worry, what is this development libraries and all, we'll cover it. And coming to this JRE, JRE is having again two parts. One is execution libraries and other one is JVM. JVM means Java Virtual Machine. So when you run your program, so this virtual machine is responsible for allocating memory required for your program in a runtime. As soon as your program stops, this memory will be cleared from the system. So now let's see when programmer writes a code, that is called user code, right? So in order to write the code, we will take a help of this development libraries. The primary function of this development library is to help user to build a code. So once you build a code and you compile it, to compile your code, again we will take a help of development libraries. Once you compile it, so this code, user code, will be converted to something called bytecode. This bytecode is not human readable format, and this is also not machine understandable format. This is called intermediate code, where user code is compiled into bytecode. And this bytecode, you can pass it to any platform wherever you wanted to run it. So how it will run? So usually what happens is your JDK is not a platform dependent, but JRE is specifically a platform dependent. That means whenever you run your bytecode, so the execution library that are present in your JRE will understand on which platform you are running that code. According to that, it will generate the machine understandable language. And this machine understandable code will be sent to your system to execute it.
This byte code because of this bytecode concept, Java is write once, execute anywhere. So for example, you are writing your code on Windows and you wanted to run that code on Unix. In that situation, not necessarily you need to pass user code. Once you write your code on Windows and generate the bytecode of it, that bytecode you can pass it to any platform where you want to run that.
Let's try our first program. So we'll not use editor. Okay. So as I said, Java is object oriented. So we have to write everything in a Java within a classes. So I'm just pasting, some line of Java code here. You can see I have written it under class. Okay. Don't worry if you're not understanding it. Okay. We'll cover this part deeply in the coming videos. I'm just trying to print some message. Welcome to SkillWisdom. So every class in a Java should be saved with a class name. So what I'm doing, I'm clicking on save, and then I'm just using same class name, and Java file has to be stored with a extension Java. Okay. Click on save. I'll just close this. Okay. The file is saved here. There is no other file here, right? So hold on your Windows, you can just type cmd. So command prompt will be opened with that location. So our class name is hello, right? So there's a command called javac. Type javac, then use file name dot java. So when you run this command, so javac stands for Java compiler. This is a part of development library. So when you run this, if there is no error on your program, so it will compile this into a bytecode. You can see here, now you got one more file here, that is .class extension. This is called bytecode. We'll just edit it with a Notepad++. You can see here, this is not user readable format, right? Now once you compile it, if you want to execute this one, then type Java, then your class name. Don't use extension, just press enter. Your program will execute and you can see the message here. We have seen how to create Java file and execute it without editor. Now we'll see that how we can do the same thing using editor and what is the advantage of using editor. So we have already installed Eclipse. Double click on Eclipse. So you will get this window. This is called Workspace location. Workspace means where you wanted to store your programs. Okay, give any path here and click on OK. Eclipse will take some time to launch your workspace. Okay, now Eclipse launched the workspace. By default, nothing is there in the workspace, right? You can see here. I'll close this. So if you want to create Java project, right click on it, select new and Java project. If Java project is not available here, go to others. Then you have a Java here, expand it, select the Java project, click on next. You can give any valid name. Then this is a part where you can select the JRE version, what JRE version you want it for your project. You can use any version, just click on finish. Now project will be created. So if you go to your workspace, you can see here there's a folder created here. Okay, so now if you want to create class, right click on it, go to new, other, expand this, use class, click next, give some name. Okay, then just click on finish. As soon as you create new class, you can see here it is coming under default package. So if you don't want to create under default package, then you can create your own package, new, then go to other, click package, click on next and give some name for your Package name will always with a small letters. Click on finish, then your package will be created, right? So select your package, right click, new, then select class. You can give any name for your class. Just click on this main at this point, click on finish. I'll delete this default package. Okay, so once now the class is created, right? If you go to your workspace, you can see what this is a project. If you open this, then you should find source folder. This is source folder, right? So this is source folder. Inside that, the package we have created is a hello. Then the class name, whatever class you have created. Okay. Type SYSO. Press Control space. Select this and just print hello. This is just to print it. Okay. You remember that when we are writing the same code in a Java, so we have write and then we have compiled. The advantage of using an editor is as soon as you write your code, it will be automatically compiled and .class file will be created. So if you want to see your .class file here, that is a bytecode, go to your workspace. Okay, you can see here, this is your workspace, this is your project, right? Under source, you have created a package called hello, then you have created a class, right? So go back to main project. You can see here bin folder, right? So if you open this bin folder, the same folder structure will also be created here, similar to your source. If you open this, you can see a .class file is created. This is a bytecode for whatever the class you have created. So if you want to run the program, you can right click on your class, then you can use run as Java application, or you can directly click on this. Always Java project will start run from this line. Okay, main function, this is called a main function. Don't worry what is this public static void at this point. Just understand that your Java program will start execution from the main. Okay, so now we'll create one more package. I will just name it as com, then create one class. You can name it as anything. Right now I will just name it as, let's say I will name it as a bike. Okay, click on finish. Okay, so this is called a class. This is keyword and this is name of a class. When you create any class, there is no memory allocated for it. Okay, what is this class? Class is just a blueprint which is made of state and behavior. Class is a blueprint combination of states and behavior. What is the states? What is this behavior? We'll go through it in a while. So now you might have a question, when I created a class, why there is no memory allocated for it? So if you want to understand that, so let's say an example. Let's say you wanted to build a cycle. So what we will do first? So you will prepare a sketch of it. What that sketch is called? It's a blueprint, where blueprint will indicate how the cycle should looks like, what all the functionality it has to do, what all the properties it should have, like color, it should have how many seats, how many wheels, how many paddles, and what is the sound of its bell. Those are all comes under state. And behavior means what all the functionality cycle should do. Like if somebody put legs on the pedal and do it, it has to move. If somebody presses that brake, it has to stop. These are all called functionality. The same way classes also behaves. When you create a classes, that is indicates just a blueprint combination of state and behavior. State indicates properties of that class, and behavior indicates the functionality of that class. Clear? Yeah. Now we'll see what is the states, right? States are derived by using the variables in Java. What is this variable? Variable are just a placeholders. like if you see that bike example, so we need a two wheel. Two is a property of it, which will indicate how many wheels that cycle should have. Like that, variables are just a placeholders, right? So if you want to define any variable, there is a particular format for it in a Java. So you can see here, it is consist of three things. One is, you can see int, that indicates type of it. Second one is a name of a variable, and third one is a value of a variable. Int indicates type of it, and variable name, and value. Okay, so type indicates what kind of a value the variable can hold it, right? So let's say if you put int number equal to high, so high is not a number, right? So at this point it will throw an error because you are telling number should hold something integer value, but you are trying to store something else. That's why you will get an error. Okay. Okay. Let's create one more class. I'll just name it as a variable. Okay. So what is the syntax for declaring any variable? First is a type. Then you can give some name for it. Then you can assign the value. Right. So this is a variable. Number is a name. This is a type and value. You can also declare a variable without initialization. Initialization you can do later part in your program. So now you may have a question, what are the types of variables we are having? So int is just an example, right? So Java supports huge range of variables. You can see here integer, short, long, byte. So these four supports for whole numbers. Whole numbers means without a decimal number. Then we have float and double that supports decimal number. Then character which supports single character like A, B, C. And Boolean is which supports true or false. Let's see how we can create this variable. So this is int now, right? Suppose for example you wanted to create decimal value, right? I can just create. So decimal value always ends with f just to indicate it's a floating value. Or you can also create it using, if it is a double, then no need to indicate f at the end. Let's say you wanted to create a character. Character always indicated with single quote. Okay. Now if you want to create a Boolean, Boolean always stores only two values, either true or false. Right? This is type and this is a value. You can give anything here. Let's say I can give something. Yeah, it works fine. It's up to user comfortability. But remember that naming convention for your variable is all the letters should be small. So now come back to the bike class. So we know what are states. States are indicated with variables, right? So what all the states might be available for your bike? So I may have wheels. Let's say I have two wheels, right? Then I may have color. Right now I will just use char for it, single color, right? Let's say red, right? Like this we can define the states of that class. Now the next one comes as behavior. Function means it's a set of instruction that perform some business logic. So let's say an example, you have a bike, right? So let's say if I ask you to start a bike, what you will do? What do you mean by starting a bike? You have a set of instruction that you need to follow, right? First you need to take a key, then put a key on it, then either use a self or kick. So combining these all the instructions, we call it as a start. Same way functions also, we will combine multiple statements and name it, and whenever we wanted to call that set of statements, Instead of calling it individually, we call that name, whatever we named for that group of statement. So syntax for it is any function will have access modifier, then return, then name, then you have input, don't worry if you are not understanding it, I will make sure that you will understand by end of this. Then you will have body, or you can also call statements. Right? So access modifier, we have a lot of things. We'll discuss it later. Right now, just understand public. Public means anybody can use it. Okay. Return means what is this function is giving you back. Right now, just think that I'm not getting anything. So if function is not giving anything back to you, then use it wide. Then name of a function, you can name it anything. Let's say I wanted to name it as a start at this point. And input, I don't want to give input, so nothing. Right? The body, so body means when you say start, what functionality this bike has to do. Right now I'll keep it very simple. What I will do, I'll just use one line of a code, that is start bike. Right? Whenever I say start, it will print this message. So clear what is class and what is state and what is behavior, how we can define the behaviors and how we can define the states.
Let's start with operator. So I'm creating a package called operator here. First set of operators are called arithmetic operator. So I'm creating a class called arithmetic.
Arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operators are nothing but addition, subtraction, division. These are all called arithmetic operation. Let's create two variables, a and b, and one more variable to capture the result of it. Okay. So first one is addition, a plus b. So it means it will add the values in a and b. And next one is subtraction, a minus b. Third one is multiplication, a into b. And fourth one is division. So division always returns the quotient. Like when you divide 10 by 3, so it should return you 3. And last one is a mod. So mod means which will return you remainder. When you divide 10 by 3, what is the remainder? Remainder is 1. Always this division returns you quotient and mod returns you remainder. So let's execute. Click on run. You can see here a plus b 13, a minus b 7, 30. It's returned the quotient and it returned you the remainder.
So second set of operators are relational operator. I'm creating a class called relational here.
Create two variable. So relational operator means, as name says, that these operators are used to find the relation between any two variables or any two numbers or strings or anything, like greater than, less than or equal to, or equal to or not equal to. These are all called relational operator. Let's see example one by one. So always the relational operator returns you the result in the Boolean format. It will return true or false. When I say A is greater than B, so it will compare the A value with B. If it is true, then it will return true here. Like if A is greater than B, then true. If A is less than B, then it will return the false. right? Now 10 is greater than 20. No, right? Result should be false. So this is an example for A is less than B. Same like we have one more operator. A is less than or equal to 10 and A is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, so when you say this greater than or equal to, either it should be less than or equal to, that means it should be either less than 10 or equal to 10, then it will return the true. For other thing, it will return as a false. So double equal to indicates the values both are same, right? Now A is 10 and we are checking 10 is equal to 9, that means false, right? And this is not equal to. So this will be true only when A and left side and right side both are not equal. Like now 10, A is a 10, which is left side, and 11 is the right side. 10 and 11 both are same? No, right? This should be false. Let's run this program. You can see here. So the last one, 10 is not equal to 11. True, because A is 10 and it is not equal to 11. You can see the last one, true.
Third set of operators are logical operator. Let's create a class called logical.
Let's create a variable b1, another one is a p2. So logical operators means you might have heard about and, or, not, right? These are all called logical operators in Java. Okay. For example, b1 ampersand b2, right? Ampersand indicates and here, right? So if you see the table, so ampersand that is and, right? This will be true only when left side and right side both sides are true. If one of these are false, then end result will be false for it, right? Next one is or. So or works in such a way that if one of the left or right is true, then result will be true. Right? If both side, left side and right side is false, then result will be false. If you see here, this is false, this is false. Result should be false here. In all other case, it should be true. True, true, false, true, false, true, true, false, false, false. And last one is not. So not is opposite. If it is true, then not of true is false. Right? B1 is true, then not B1 is false. If B1 is false, then not B1 is true. Let's execute this program. B1 and B2, it's a false because and result is true only when both side is true. And same here, or result is true when one of the side is true. And B1 is true and not B1 should be false. It's working fine.
Fourth set of operators are assignment operator. Let's create a class called assignment.
Operators. So assignment operator means like assigning something to a variable, right? So equal to is an assignment operator, right? So let's declare a variable int a equal to 10. So in this case 10 I am trying to assign to a. So when I try to print a, it should print 10. This is called assignment operator. And there are some short forms in assignment operator. Like for example, let's say that I wanted to write a equal to a plus 5. That you can write it as something like a plus equal to 5. So this is a short form of a equal to a plus 5. So when you try to print this, now currently a is a 10 in line number 9. We have declared it as a 10. So I'm trying to add 5 to that a. So it should be 15 now. So any arithmetic operator, you can write it in this short form, like a minus equal to 3. That means a equal to a minus 3. Currently a is 15. Minus 3, that is 12. So this should print 12 now. Clear? 10, 15, then 12.
Next one is Unary Operator. We also call it as a increment or decrement operator. Let's create a class called Unary.
Unary Operator. So these are all also called increment and decrement operator. You can increment any number by 1 or you can decrement any number by 1. Let's declare a variable a equal to 10 and b equal to 10. So when I try to print a plus plus, so plus plus is called a unary operator, double plus. So this will increment a value by 1. Right? The position of plus plus matters a lot here. Like, for example, now you are trying to print a plus plus. So this is called post increment. That means you are using plus plus right side of your variable. So first it will execute the statement. After that it will increment it. Currently a is 10 now. So when this statement executes, first it will execute it. So it will print the 10. After that it will increment it by 1. So if you do pre-increment, that is if you put plus plus before the variable, that means first it will increment, then it will execute. So b is 10 now. So before executing this statement, it will increment and then it will execute this statement. So it will print 11 here. Same thing with minus minus, decrement operator. So first it will execute, that means it will print 10, then it will decrement by 1. Here also same thing. So let's initialize a to 10. Let's see what is the output for this. Okay, we got it here 10. Here it is printing 11. Here it is printing 10. Here it is 9. Here it is 35. How this is 35? See here. This is your statement. A plus plus, then plus a, plus then plus a. The current value of a is 10. In line number 23 we have declared it, right? So this first one now, a plus plus, this is a post increment, right? So what it will do, first it will take a, that is 10. So now it will increment a to 1. So now a become 11. So now it will come here, plus a. So this is a pre-increment. So a is already 11, right? So it will increment it by 1. So that is 12. Then it will consider it here. So now a value become 12. So now again plus a, again pre-increment, right? So from 12 it will increment it by 1. So that is 13. And if you add 10 plus 12 plus 13, we will get 35.
Last one is ternary operator. Let's create a class called ternary.
Question mark is called as a ternary operator in Java. Let's see this. I have declared a variable int a equal to 10. Now I am declaring one more variable b, but b value depends on this statement. How this statement works? Let's see this. So ternary operator syntax is, first there will be a condition which will return true or false. Then you will have a question mark. Once you have a question mark, so then you need to give two parts. If this condition is true, what should execute? If this condition is false, what should execute? Then end result should be stored in variable, right? So if you see here, a is less than 10. What is a value now? 10. Is 10 is less than 10? No, this is false. So when this is false, this statement should execute, right? That means 200. So now 200 will execute. That means int b equal to 200. So when you try to print b here, it should print b as a 200. Let's run this. You can see 200 is printing here. This completes operators in Java.